Manga, and more manga. I read a lot of it in my spare time, and by spare time, I mean at work. So much so that I decided to say, hey, screw it, let's see if any of these are worth your time. And with time in mind, I'm not going to waste any of yours. Let's see if this manga is for you in 10 minutes or less. Tsuyoshi Daremo Katenai Aitsu Niwa, or Tsuyoshi for short, is a comedy action manga written and illustrated by Kyosuke Maruyama. Beginning its publishing in Side Comics on November 29, 2018, and as of this recording has 28 translated chapters. Side note, please do note that I said 28 translated chapters, because from everything that I've seen, this manga is pretty much already done. However, in America, we only have 28 translated chapters because I don't think the manga was very popular and only got picked up in the last few years or so. However, I could be wrong, and if someone can correct me if that is the case, please do so. Thank you. Our story follows Tsuyoshi Kawabata, a mediocre employee at a convenience store outside of Tokyo, as he lives his life trying to make it into art school and become an artist. But as the cover might suggest, this story isn't about some boring cashier going through art school. No. It's in fact the story about Tsuyoshi, who isn't just a 7-Eleven wash-up, he is also an extremely strong martial artist. In fact, he is so strong, he is consistently attacked and challenged by people on a daily, all of which he accepts under the condition that once he wins, they can never fight again. As the story goes on, he encounters new friends, enemies, and all whilst just trying to get that damn painting exam done. And that's the story up till now. Starting off with the characters, and we start off with Tsuyoshi. For as generic as he might sound, Tsuyoshi is anything but. He can be polite and even seems like a complete pushover at first. However, once you scratch at the surface, you find a very confident and almost at times arrogant man who knows he will win and there isn't a damn thing you can do about it. It's honestly quite hilarious how once that striped uniform comes off, he is still polite, but you can definitely tell he isn't the same guy and will not hesitate to rip your spine out if you fuck with him too many times. He's a lot like Saitama in a way from One Punch Man. On the outside, he's just some dude, but once you trip over him, yeah, he goes into full-on fight mode. While he doesn't have much in the way of character, I do actually still enjoy him because while he doesn't have much in the way of character, he does have a lot of comedic moments, which we'll get to in a moment. Up next is the secondary protagonist, Hoshizaki Ainosuke, a man who had only one goal and one only, and that was to defeat his rival, Yumeoka Teru, in a one-on-one match. But after Teru suddenly vanished, Ainosuke tracks him down and asks him why. Turns out Teru was utterly annihilated by Tsuyoshi to the point where he gave up martial arts completely and became an idol fan. No, really. Hearing this, Hoshizaki tracks down and is defeated by Tsuyoshi. Afterwards, he begs to become a student and is only taken in when it is revealed he has exceptional art skills and will help Tsuyoshi with his art in exchange for helping him with his martial arts. See what I did there? That's why we get the subs, baby. Hoshizaki is honestly the funniest character in the manga by far, sporting the best jokes and reactions, just how ridiculous all of this bullshit is. But we'll save the comedy for our later section, because I don't want this to be too long. Other characters introduced are just hilarious in their own right. Teru, Hoshizaki's rival, is great as the wash-up has-been turned idol fan. Chain goes from a typical ditzy girl character to the lovable Chinese spy who, to be fair, doesn't know what the fuck she's doing at the time, and even Tsuyoshi roommates who, while brief, do bring in some funny moments here and there. The comedy in this manga is, dare I say it, almost perfection. It is almost to the level of, excuse me dentist, it's touching me. I have not laughed out loud at a manga like this since, excuse me dentist, it's touching me. It is sincerely hilarious. There are many times in this manga where I actually had to put it down because I was laughing just that hard. And my goodness, does this manga not stop with the jokes. However, it's not just a comedy manga, remember, this is also an action shonen manga. Yes, and dare I say it, the fights and the action are also fantastic. I know this is getting a little bit into the art, but just as manga action goes, it's really fun. All of the martial arts are depicted beautifully, everything has a sense of weight to it, and all the martial arts feel different. I know that sometimes in shonen manga, melee combat can feel samey, but that is not the case for this manga whatsoever. Every martial art feels different, and every hit feels just as hard as it would in real life. Speaking of the art is something that I have to commend. Now, on the outside, it really doesn't look very impressive. But once you get into the martial arts section and once you get into the fights, it damn near rivals anything on the Shonen Jump manga catalog right now. It is fantastic. The lines are heavy, the weight is there, the pacing is beautiful, the flow is beautiful. It is great to look at. Honestly, it's one of those manga where reading it, you really can see the motion in your head. And of course, a lot of that also comes in with the comedy fighting too, because there is quite a few fights in this manga that mix both comedy and action. And doing so, it mixes so well that it just packs a bigger punch. And honestly, that is the biggest thing I can say about this manga. It is funny and action-packed while never quite losing the seriousness of the moment when it needs to be serious. It's a great balancing act that I feel should be commended. Overall, Tsuyoshi is a fantastic, fun manga to read. I know that this review is short, but I'm going to be honest, with only 28 chapters to go off of, there really isn't much story for me to bite into. However, what's already there, and what's already translated, and what's already on screen, I can honestly say that this manga is right up there with one of those mangas like Ottoman or Shy that I look forward to reading every single time there's a new chapter. And if you're interested in reading this and are afraid that chapters might take months, if not even years, to be updated, in fact, the translations are coming out so fast that they're almost daily at this point, which is why, as of this recording, there are 28 chapters, but by the time this comes out, there might already be 34 chapters. I'm not even sure at this point. So yes, the manga is fantastic. It is a fun ride. It is a fun read. Don't think about anything too much because it really isn't supposed to be taken that seriously. And honestly, I can't get enough of it. I can't wait to see what comes next. I recommend it wholeheartedly. But unfortunately, it is time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for watching this video all the way through. I know it was a little short, but don't worry, we've got tons more in the pipeline. So, with that being said, if you like what you saw, please do like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you again for another manga in 10 minutes or less. Bye-bye!